If you did all three of those things, you'd be $1 million plus agent within 12 months. There's a couple of things that get any agent into the top echelons of real estate. And the number that I like is $1 million plus, right? $1 million plus in commission per year, because that really is the number that separates elite agents from everyone else. I think $1 million plus is the right number to aim for. And if you're working hard, 6 to 7 days a week, I think that's an appropriate number. There's a couple of key things that get agents there. Number one is focusing on a core area. You need to be a specialist, not a generalist. And you can think about that in life. If you go to the GP, you might pay $100 or something like that. But if you hurt your back, your spine, and you've got to go and see a spine surgeon, I don't know how much you'd spend, maybe $20,000. That specialty piece is so important. And so focusing on one core area over an extended period of time and becoming the market expert is the absolute first step. I see most agents just operate as a generalist. They'll take anything on, but actually just cutting that right down seems counterintuitive, but it's actually what will get you that growth. Number two, it's really important to build your own brand, because people on average sell every 7 to 10 years. So that means for most of that time, they're not in real estate mode. They're in kids' school sports mode. They're in their career mode. They're in whatever's going on in their life mode. They're not thinking about real estate. They're not looking on realestate.com. They're not coming to open homes and chatting to agents. Like, that's not what they're doing, right? But once every, on average, 7 to 10 years, that is the mode that they get in. And when people get into that mode, they immerse themselves in it for a period of time. You want to be the person that's top of mind when they go to do that. So you might not go to McDonald's every day, but if you're driving down the highway on a 2-hour drive or something like that, and you're hungry, you sort of think, oh, where's the McDonald's? Pull over. Because you know that they're everywhere, right? It's just top of mind. And so that's the same with being a real estate agent. You want your name to be top of mind. So when they think about selling, they think, oh, we've seen that guy around a lot. We should get him in or her in. The way you do that is you create your own personal brand and you market yourself consistently over a really long period of time. Bearing in mind, people sell on average every 7 to 10 years. So you've got to market yourself consistently over a really long period of time and not expect anything back in the moment. A mistake a lot of people make is they'll do a letterbox drop around their suburb and then they'll just sit there by the phone waiting for it to ring, and it doesn't. That would be like winning the lottery, quite frankly. So no, if you just do that every week for 10 years, your phone will ring all the time. The third thing is it's really about scale. And so when I was on my own journey to write $1 million plus, I kept stalling at around 700,000 and I couldn't understand why. And I went and spoke to an agent that was writing over $1 million, and she gave me this great advice. She said, how busy are you? I said, I'm absolutely flat strapped, like I'm maxed out. And she said, I knew that would be the issue. You need an assistant. And this is leverage, right? This is getting more time. If you work 50 hours a week and you can hire an assistant and they work 50 hours a week, all of a sudden your team now is doing 100 hours a week of output. You might have 2 assistants or 3 assistants, and all of a sudden you're doing 150 or 200 hours a week of output. But it's that scale and leverage that gets agents to the volume that they need to operate at to be writing $1 million plus. And so, bringing on an assistant earlier than you probably think you need it, spending the money on that person, and then training them, putting the time and energy and effort into training that person to be a brilliant assistant within your team just frees up the agent to look after the highest value dollar productive activities. So I like to say, if you're $1 million plus agent, really your time's probably worth about $5,000 an hour. It's crazy when you think about it like that, but that's realistically what it's worth. So then you've got to have a look at everything you're doing in your day and say, and what am I doing that's worth less than $5,000 an hour? Or something that I could pay someone else $50 or $100 an hour to do for me, and getting rid of all of that. Whether that's in your work life with an assistant, doing anything that's not at that level. There's only a few jobs that are at that level. I mean, really listening, talking to vendors about which agent they're going to choose and pitching for their business is probably the most high value task that you can do. And 2, dealing with hot buys and negotiating and closing deals at the end. But really, they're the only 2 parts that are worth that amount of money, and everything else needs to come off the plate. That's in the work life, but same in the personal life. Get someone doing your gardening, get someone doing your cleaning and cooking, even if you can. Have someone that washes your car, and all of these things, are not worth $5,000 an hour. If you love gardening, then by all means do that. But if you're serious about it, you've got to treat yourself as someone that's worth $5,000 an hour and really start to leverage and just focus on that. And that'd be the three things. And if anyone followed that recipe, they would be $1 million plus agent, depending on their starting point. But say they're writing 500,000. If you did all three of those things, you'd be $1 million plus agent within 12 months.